Retiring at 55 is not mainly about finding the perfect investment. It's about building enough money in the right places to buy back your time. In the last video, I explained why your 40s can decide whether you retire free or trapped. Before that, I showed how finding work, increasing your income, and investing some of that increase in income can eventually make work optional. This video brings those two ideas together because I'm going to show you a realistic UK plan for retiring at 55, how to calculate your number, how to bridge the gap before you can access your pension, and what I would focus on if I was starting in my 40s. First, what does retiring at 55 actually mean? When people hear retire early, they normally picture somebody selling everything, moving abroad, and never working another day in their life. That might be your version, but it doesn't have to be. For me, retirement means freedom of choice. It means not having to accept every contract because the bills demand it. It could mean working 3 days a week, for example. Choosing projects closer to home, building a business, making YouTube videos like this, training Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, if you're like me, that's your favorite sport, or maybe it's stopping work completely. That distinction matters because replacing every pound of your salary is a much bigger target than replacing the amount you actually spend. If you earn £60,000 but live on £30,000, you don't necessarily need a retirement income of £60,000. Your first job is to work out the life you want and what that life will genuinely actually cost. Step 1, calculate your freedom number. Start with annual spending, not salary. Go through your bank statements and separate essential costs from optional spending. Then ask what will change by 55. Will the mortgage be gone? Will the children be financially independent, should I say? Will commuting and pension contributions disappear? What might increase, such as travel or healthcare? Let's use a simple example. Imagine you want £30,000 a year after tax in today's money. £5,000 might come from rental income or part-time work. That leaves a £25,000 gap for your investments to cover. A rough starting point is to multiply the annual gap by 25, which comes from the well-known 4% rule. In this example, 25,000 multiplied by 25 gives £625,000, but that's a planning estimate, not a guarantee. Retiring at 55 could mean funding 35 or 40 years. Fees, tax, inflation, poor returns, early in retirement, and unexpected spending all matter as well. I would test the plan at low withdrawal rates also, perhaps 3 to 3.5%, and consider regulated financial advice before making a decision this important. The key point is simple. Try not to say something like, I need £1 million, because that sounds impressive. Calculate the actual gap your assets need to fill. We're all different as investors. Step 2, build 3 bridges, not one big pot. This is where a lot of UK early retirement plans fall apart. People build a large pension, but forget when they can access it. For most people, the normal minimum pension age is due to rise from 55 to 57 on 6th of April 2028, unless they have a protected pension age or another exception. The state pension might not begin until 67 under the current timetable for many people planning to retire at 55. Always check your own pension scheme and state pension forecast. So I would think about retirement in 3 stages. Personally, that's if you want or are planning on retiring at 55. Stage 1 is the age 55 to 57 bridge. This usually needs accessible money, a stocks and shares ISA, cash, or other income such as rent or part-time work. If you need £30,000 a year, a simple 2-year bridge is roughly £60,000 plus a buffer. An ISA can be extremely useful because withdrawals are generally tax-free and the money is accessible before pension age. Stage 2 runs from pension access to state pension age. From around 57, your private or workplace pensions might become available, subject to your scheme rules. You then need those assets to support you until the state pension kicks in and beyond. Stage 3 begins when the state pension arrives. The full new state pension is £241 a week in 2026-27, but your amount depends on your national insurance record and future rules. Check your personal forecast rather than assuming you will receive the full amount. This is why the plan should not be put everything into a pension. For me personally, a pension can be highly tax efficient, particularly with employer contributions and tax relief, but an ISA gives you flexibility, which is important. For many early retirees, the two need to work together. This, as always, is just my opinion and not financial advice. Step 3. Use your 40s as the acceleration decade. This links directly to my previous video. Your 40s are normally the decade when income is your strongest, but lifestyle is trying really hard to absorb it. At 43, 12 years until 55 might not sound like much time, but it's enough time for disciplined action to make a meaningful difference. For illustration, £500 a month invested for 12 years at a 7% annual return after inflation would grow to roughly £112,000 in today's money. At £1,000 a month, it would double. It would be about £224,000. These are smooth return illustrations only. Real markets don't move in a straight line, and charges would reduce the outcome. And just to be transparent, I'm being very conservative with these returns. If you already had £100,000 invested and added £1,000 every single month for those 12 years at the same illustrative real return, you could reach roughly £455,000 in today's money. That might not fund every lifestyle forever, but combined with pensions, property income, a paid off mortgage, late estate pension, and maybe some flexible work, it can transform your options. That's why I said in the previous video that your 40s can make you free or trapped. Every pay rise can become a bigger car payment, or it can buy part of your future freedom. Step 4, increase the gap between what you earn and spend. There are only 3 main levers: earn more, spend less, or give the plan more time. Investment returns matter, but they are the lever you control the least. This is where the first video in this series matters. Before you can invest more, you normally need to earn more. Sort out your CV and LinkedIn profile. Tell your network you're looking for work. Apply relentlessly. Add useful qualifications. Negotiate your rate. Take overtime or a second income if that fits your life. When I left the Royal Air Force at 23, I applied for more than 500 jobs before somebody gave me my break. Throughout my career, I've taken overtime, loads of overtime and overseas contracts to increase my income, but the lesson I learned later was that earning more isn't enough. You have to convert at least some of that income into assets. The sequence is get work, increase your income, control lifestyle creep, invest consistently, build assets, and make work optional. I would make one rule before the next pay rise arrives: choose a percentage of every increase, bonus or overtime payment that goes directly towards your age 55 plan. If the money never becomes normal spending, you are less likely to miss it. Step 5, get the big expenses under control. You cannot outinvest an uncontrolled lifestyle. Housing, cars, and debt usually matter far more than cancelling one coffee. If you reach 55 with a large mortgage, car finance, and high fixed costs, your investments need to work much harder. If the mortgage is paid off and your monthly commitments are low, the same investment pot can provide far more freedom. That doesn't mean living miserably for 12 years. I still want holidays, time with my family, and a life I enjoy now. The objective, as always, is balance. Enjoy your money without allowing every increase in income to become a permanent payment. In my own plan, property is part of the picture. My aim is to simplify the portfolio and eventually hold 4 rentals paid off by around 50 to 55. Rental income is not passive or guaranteed, and properties have tax, repairs, voids, and management costs. But net income from properties, could reduce how much I need to withdraw from investments. Your additional income might come from a business, a defined benefit pension, consulting, or part-time work. Count only realistic net income and never pretend an uncertain asset will definitely deliver. Step 6, invest simply and respect the risks. For the core of a long-term plan, I prefer diversified, low-cost global index funds rather than trying to find the next hot share. But retiring at 55 creates a different risk from simply accumulating money. A market crash just before or after retirement can hurt badly if you are forced to sell investments. As 55 approaches, I would think about keeping the first part of the retirement bridge in cash or low volatility assets like bonds, while leaving money needed much later invested for growth. The right balance depends on your circumstances, risk tolerance, and other guaranteed income. I would also check what every old workplace pension is invested in. Auto-enrollment minimums are generally only 8% of qualifying earnings with at least 3% from the employer, and minimum contributions alone might not produce the retirement you want. Some default funds also reduce risk automatically as the schemes assume retirement age approaches, which may or may not match your actual plan. Use sensible assumptions. I've discussed historical stock market returns of around 10% in quite a lot of other videos, but I wouldn't build an age 55 plan that only works if you receive 10% every single year. Model low returns, higher inflation, and a market fall in the first few years. A good plan should have room for life before imperfect. A realistic age 43 to 55 action plan. If I was 43 and wanted work to become optional at 55, this is the order I would complete now. 1. Calculate my annual retirement spending in today's money. 2. List every asset: workplace pensions, all pensions, SIP, stocks and shares ISA, cash, property equity, and any reliable future income. 3. Check my state pension forecast and the access age for every private pension. 4. Calculate the accessible ISA or cash bridge needed from 55 to pension access. 5. Work out the remaining gap and the monthly amount needed to close it using cautious return assumptions. 6. Decide how much of every pay rise, bonus, contract increase or extra income will be invested automatically. 7. Create a plan for the mortgage and other major debts. 8. Review the plan at least once a year and adjust contributions accordingly, spending or the target date if reality changes. And if the numbers don't work immediately straight away, don't give up. You can increase contributions, retire at 57 instead of 55, work part-time for a few years, reduce the spending target, or find ways to earn more. Early retirement is not pass or fail. Every improvement buys more choice, more freedom. Conclusion. Retiring at 55 is possible for some ordinary working people, but it's not automatic, and it is not created by one brilliant investment choice. It comes from a chain of decisions. Find work, increase your income, keep control of your lifestyle, invest through pensions and ISAs, build a bridge to pension access, and keep your future spending realistic. That's why these 3 videos belong together. If you are struggling to increase your income, watch my video on 3 simple ways to find work. That's the start of this important journey. If you're in your 40s, watch the video explaining why this decade, your 40s, can determine whether you retire free or trapped. That is the decision point. And this video is the destination, turning income into enough assets and flexibility to make work optional at 55. I'll put both previous videos in the description below. Watch the one that matches where you are now today. Let me know in the comments, what age would you like to wear? Would you like work to become optional? And what is the biggest thing currently standing in your way? And if you want help making investing much simpler, you can also join my complete investing community on School for free. Comment invest and I'll send you the link. This is general education as always and personal experience, not financial advice. Investments can fall as well as rise. Tax rules can change and you might get back less than you invest. Anyway, thanks for watching.